Since ancient times, poets and authors have praised the beauty of oriental maidens. They admire their curvy eyebrows, expressive eyes, ruddy cheeks, and of course, their grace and flexibility. But the cost of that beauty, the things women had to do to achieve it, the pain they had to endure were kept secret. Today we will try to unravel the mysteries of female beauty hidden throughout history. They say the desire to look good and to decorate yourself was born with women since the creation of the world. However, the concept of beauty varies from region to region, from era to era. I'll try to find out what was the true ideal of beauty of nomads hundreds of years ago. I'll also try to find out how women in that era tried to reach that ideal look. My name is Daniel Besedin, and we're searching for mystery again. What do nomadic women and Cleopatra have in common?
Ну вот смотрите, например, вот рецепт красоты.
Everyone knows that Cleopatra took milk bath. Just imagine, you can turn a whole bath, turn water into milk. Isn't it interesting? How did the beauties of the steppe take bath? This was the greatest Tengrian scene to go and wash in the river. What do historians hide from modern women? Kazakh women and girls have always been free, you know? The Padawang people from Thailand and Myanmar have a curious tradition called stretching the neck. 5-year-old girls start to wear metal rings on their necks, and its number grows over the years. The more rings she wears, the prettier the girl is. Chanzu is a Chinese custom of foot binding. In order for legs to look like a lotus flower and be as small as possible, the bones of the girl's legs were broken at an early age and their feet were tightly bandaged with a cloth. All this for the sake of beauty. However, after these procedures, the girls lost the ability to walk. Professor Canon of Historical Sciences, ethnographer Jibek Joly told us about concepts of female beauty in the Kazakh land. Monuments of the Turkic era, the so-called bulbuls, also bear the images of a woman. Bulbul is an ancient stone statue. In most cases, it was a woman. Let's turn to the books on Kazakh petroglyphs by Zeynullah Samashev and Jumash Zhetibayev. They give descriptions of one of the bulbuls which clearly depicted a woman, beautiful and gracious. It was definitely a female image. During their history, Kazakh people realized that a woman should maintain her posture and take care of herself. For this purpose, as Levshin previously mentioned, women used lipstick and henna. They had to stand out. We can talk endlessly about female beauty and its elements, and which of them are more or less important. Candidate of Sciences, social anthropologist and UNESCO expert on intangible cultural heritage, Yefrat Imambek looks at the point from a scientific perspective. We can say that the entire human culture is the story of evolution, of female beauty and views on it. It took place in art, in cultural processes, and in everyday practices. The whole history of mankind is the history of beauty. We can say so. In all early cultures, the standard of beauty was always a low, wide female pelvis. That is, the center of gravity of a woman had to be as low as possible. That was a sign of strength. Now, for centuries, Europeans have cherished curvy women, immortalized in the art of Rubens and Titian. For Egyptians, narrow shoulders and long torso were attractives. In various times, nomadic people had different standards of a perfect female body. And typically, the waist, of course, had to be very, very narrow. You know, as they said, Kumuskabel, the waist of an ant, you know? This is what the waist should have been. Can you imagine this? All of that suggests it was some kind of standard, you know, and surely the girl's breasts
должна была быть талия, да, представляете? Конечно, у девушки
should not have been large, you know. The big ones were a sign of a breastfeeding woman. A woman with children, you know. It was not very good when the girl was plump.
полная. Это не очень приветствовалось.
Of course, expressive facial features were also important. The eyes had to be large, dark, and shiny with long and thick eyelashes. Parents who wanted their daughter to grow up beautiful could call her botagos, which literally means eyes of a camel calf. Small ears, a straight nose, and a blush were also considered attractive. Mouth as small as a thimble, laughing eyes. It should be noted that the men preferred girls with fair, clean, and delicate skin. It was difficult to keep that type of skin due to the constant physical labor in the fresh air. Therefore, it became a sign of noble maidens who didn't work.
Всегда очень ценилась красивая, здоровая кожа.
Nice and healthy skin has always been highly valued. Usually in the epic poems, our intangible heritage, white skin was mentioned, right?
Это как раз вот фактор редкости. То есть это символ того, что это...
I think it's because of its rarity. That is, it confirmed the fact that the bride, or maybe let's say her grandmother, was brought from far away. That is, the skin was inherited. Well, dark skin may not be mentioned that often, not because it was considered ugly, but simply an ordinary thing.
Просто это было рядовым делом.
Good hair has always been a sign of beauty of Kazakh women. Fairy tales and epic poems talk about young men who falls in love with a girl from just seeing her hair. Can you imagine that? Now, hair for Kazakh people is sacred. It can't be thrown into a bin, stepped on, or burned, because it represents strength, happiness, well-being, success, and good luck. Thick, shiny hair and long white braids were considered the main decoration of the girl. To cut off someone's plate was a grave insult and even a crime comparable to cutting off a leg or an arm. The Kazakh people even have a curse, shashun kesilsin, may your hair be cut off. The cutting of a hair meant cutting off the road to the happiness.
Иногда вот я думаю, да, больше всего.
Sometimes I think that the Kazakhs paid great attention to the hair. Kazakh language has many hair-related epithets that describe female beauty. Altın shash, golden hair. Sulu shash, beautiful hair. Kulan shash, thick hair. Kazakh women also had special hair ornaments. Shashbao is a decorated ribbon that was put in a braid and, according to legend, protected its owner from bad spirits. Shulpa, jingling metal, hair pendants, was worn only by unmarried girls. First of all, it made the girl behave in a modest, dignified way, since the ringing of the shulpa gave the girl out wherever she went and made her avoid sudden movements. The girl became smooth and graceful, which was also regarded as an important component of female beauty. The shashkap was cut for the thick and long braid and decorated with beads. The literal meaning of the word is a hair cover. They made it from velvet, plush, or cloth. The shashkap prevented the braids from getting dirty with dust and mud. Orientalist and Turkologist Vasily Radlov wrote that women wore kimeshek, a headdress that covered the head, neck, chest, and back. Older women tied jaolek, a scarf. If we compare the traditions of different people, we can see that many of them ban married women from being in public with their heads uncovered. This is usually associated with husband's jealousy. There's another. They had to be covered so it would be protected against the evil forces. Ethnographer Berdali Osman has spent 15 years writing his book, Names from Saksy to Kazakhs, and has studied a huge amount of historical data. He can confirm that hair was highly valued. in Kazakh culture. And those with no great hair had to rely on various tricks. Some of them didn't have long hair, but they made artificial long. They definitely knew wigs too. Of course, taking care of the hair and maintaining general hygiene has not been easy. However, the people of the steppe had their own ways. For example, they arranged washing days by heating water in separate yurt and adding mixes of herbs such as wild rue, chamomile, tulip, stalks, and other plants to it. By the way, a wild rue decoction is an excellent remedy for healing wounds and skin inflammations. Grass served as a washcloth. From the ashes of saltbush or other plants, such as tumbleweed, wormwood, saxel, and livestock fat, they cooked kara sabun, black soap. Many prefer to add the soft plant leaves, which gave the soap a nice aroma. Women took great care of their hair. They combed it with bone combs and solved it with a special cure called shashmai. This was a kind of a balm that made hair shiny. It was made from egg white and butter. Now, taking a bath or a shower for us is a common hygiene. Centuries ago, though, for people of the steppe, it was a sacred process with very strict rules. Something that should not have been broken under any circumstances.
Степной в нашей цивилизации категорически нельзя совершать.
In our steppe civilization, it was absolutely impossible to wash off the dirt in the river in a natural water body. This was the greatest thing in sin, to go and wash in the river, desecrating the river, desecrating the water body. Therefore, it was necessary to fetch water, as confirmed by evidence, to perform ablutions on the ground so the dirt would go into the ground, neither in the lake nor in the streams. No way. Horses, as well as cows and cattle, even though the last were less valued, as they drank any water, horses left water in place at the slightest smell and didn't use it anymore. Therefore, it was a terrible sin.
Уходят с этого водопоя и не пользуются. Поэтому это страшный грех.
In most countries of Southeast Asia, a darker skin tone was the result of a lengthy stay in the sun, which was the equivalent of a hard work. The upper-class girls were trying to make their skin look as light as possible.
арнайы ағартатын нәрсеге қолданған жоқ па әрине.
They used no special means for whitening, but to soften the skin, they bathed in the milk of a mare. They needed not 2 or 3 liters, but 30-40 liters of milk. As a result, Kazakh women have been using horse milk to improve their skin condition since ancient times, and they still use it today. This is an experience that has been passed through the ages, nomadic experience. They had lots of milk, so they could bath in it, and they obtained beautiful skin, right? The horse milk baths still exist to this day. Cosmetic chemist Nikolai Vereshchagin knows a great deal about the evolution of skincare products and how they work.
Все знают Клеопатру о том, что она принимала молочную ванну.
Everyone knows that Cleopatra took milk bath. Okay, now I have clients and customers who make powdered milk for bathing. Just imagine, you can turn a whole bath, turn water into milk. Isn't it interesting? And the recipe works really well. That is, that it was just milk, but now it is an upgraded modern milk.
Вот современного.
Item Salem Kalamkas. My greetings to you, thin-browed girl. These are the words of great Abay Kunanbay. In many literary works, Kazakh praised gracious, fine and curvy eyebrows of their girls.
Қандай бояу жақты, қандай косметика пайдаланды дегенде айтпайды. Ондай дерек өте аз.
Only a few sources tell us what kind of cosmetics women had. As far as I can remember, only Levshin briefly mentioned that Kazakh women at that time used lipsticks and henna.
Сол кісімен бір-екі сөйлеммен ғана айтқан болды бітті. Менің білетім солай. Енді басқа деректерде
Nevertheless, these evidence are truly unique. If we're talking about historical female images, first it is worth to know their rock painting. Surely they can't fully convey the beauty, grace, and aesthetics.
Әйел сұлу туралы енді былай таспада, тасқа басылған бейне ретінде кезіккен нәрсе десек, оны әрине біз ең бірінші жаңағы тастағы таңбалар, солар айтуымыз керек. Оның ішінде енді
Kazakhs called all cosmetics opa dalap. It included white powder or opa, antimony, henna, indigo dye, oil perfumes called ter, also dalap or lip paint. In the 19th century, Russian diplomat and local historian Alexei Levshin, in his description of the Kazakh people, mentioned that Kazakh women had cosmetic bags.
әсемдікке, сәндікке, яғни эстетикаға байланысты дүниелердің көбісі.
It is known that all products related to beauty and aesthetics had been brought here by trade routes. Mirrors and lipsticks were very expensive. If we look at the issue from the historical and ethnographic points of view, cosmetics have been used in Egypt since the age of Cleopatra. As for the Kazakh of the 17th-18th centuries, only wealthy people could afford cosmetics. Cosmetics, lipstick, and henna were brought by merchants, and they weren't cheap. Moreover, we didn't produce cosmetics. What for? There were many natural products. There were always options. However, the imported cosmetics were very expensive. They placed special orders. So to say, it must be pointed out that cosmetics were expensive. Not everyone could afford it.
Ауқатта да Монғолдан келдім оған.
Besides the fact that cosmetics were not so easy to obtain, not everybody, and not always, could use them because of religious, moral, or ethical restrictions.
Дегенменде жаңағы қазақ пен қазақ халқы мен ислам дінінің арасындағы байланысты келетін болсақ,
Historically, cosmetics originated from medical substances. Islamic scholars studied this issue. Now let's move on to the relationship between the Kazakh people and Islam. In Islam, a woman is allowed to use antimony, lipstick, and other cosmetics only to charm her husband. She couldn't share her beauty to others. Of course, you have to look good, but for your husband only. Now, as for toilet water and perfume, they could only be applied to certain areas of the body, wrists, neck, and so on. Not the way they use it today. You could use perfumes and beauty products to seduce your spouse only. Couldn't do it in public. And one more point. Islam strictly forbids tattoos on the body. However, washable drawings and ornaments were allowed. Black antimony made the eyes more expressive and emphasized its natural beauty. Kazakh girls, like other oriental women, despite the nomadic way of life, dyed the eyelids, eyebrows, and eyelashes with antimony. For Muslims and for many oriental people, antimony was not just a cosmetic paint, but a remedy as well. It protected the eyes from inflammation, sand, sun, dust, and, according to some people, even from the evil eye. According to one theory, it was the Turks of the Golden Horde who taught Russian women to paint their faces with karus and rov and draw black eyebrows as well. However, researchers still try to explain this by the supposed influence of Europe or their own culture. It would be a mistake to think that only women cosmeticized themselves using various means and tricks. Here's what the ethnographer Jibek Joly says about this.
енді әрине, бұлай жалпы қалыптасқан түсінік бойынша ер адам
It's a common thing that a man doesn't have to flaunt and take care of himself as much as a woman. Nonetheless, high-profile people took care of themselves.
танымал адамдар, билік басындағылар,
There's evidence that even the Prophet Muhammad himself dyed his beard with henna.
Мұхаммед пайғамбар алейхиссаламның өзі сақал мұртын, шашын қанамен бояп жүрді деген бізге мәлімет бар, иә?
Many people know about it. Who wouldn't stick to this if it makes you look and feel better?
Ортаға қалыптасу үшін
It doesn't do any harm, therefore you need to stick to it. However, it should be noted that in Kazakh communities, women had significantly more beauty devices than men.
әсер етеді. Сондықтан да оны байлану керек мейлінше. Ал бірақ қазақи тұрғыдан ер адамға
The way that a woman looks after herself can't be compared to what a man does.
бояу байлану
Women have many more methods for this.
дүниесі өте көп екенін ескеруіміз керек.
When we talk about cosmetics, we don't just mean beautification stuff. We should not forget about skincare and rejuvenation products. Unfortunately, many natural remedies and old recipes are no longer at the disposal of modern people. It is worth noting that the high cost and scarcity of cosmetics in all times, difficulties preparing the different skincare products on their own were not the only obstacles in the struggle for beauty.
Ну вот давайте представим.
Well, let's think of the factors in nomadic life that harm the skin. There was always the wind, constant unceasing wind, constant sun, heat, wind, sun, dust. Imagine the dust when the wind blows. The wind never blows by itself. It always brings dust. You may not see it, but it always contains dust. And the larger the dust particles were, the worse they hurt the skin. It kind of scratched the skin. However, in the struggle for beauty, as well as for health, the people of the rough steppe had an extremely significant support, which were their lifestyle and culinary traditions.
Кочевые народы, они питались животной пищей.
Nomadic people ate very nutritious animal food. You see, mutton is very rich with collagen. For example, all diseases were always treated with mutton fat. Boiled fat tail and drank this, fat clearing congested bronchial tubes and lungs. Also, they used it in cosmetology.
Бронхи, легкие распрямлялись. Таким же образом это использовалось и в косметологии. Для защиты от ветров, пожалуйста, ты берешь.
As a protection from the winds, you could use fat,
Опять же,
and it worked well.
всё
Again,
это было,
food
если,
and milk.
например, это не было в моменте,
Even if you didn't consume them immediately, then you preserved them by fermentation.
такие как кмыс, шубат, саумал,
Such products as kumis, shvat, saumal, they provided proper gut microbiota,
для того, чтобы
that is, lactobacillus and bifidobacteria,
жирная пища, вяленое мясо,
so that the intestines worked well. And thus, fatty food, dried meat, good dairy products, they somehow maintain the level of production of collagen and elastin to make a person look younger.
человек выглядел более молодо.
Thanks to the nomadic lifestyle and fresh and healthy food, Kazakh women have kept their youth and agility for a long time and have hardly ever suffered from obesity. It is well known that nomads knew plants well and actively used their knowledge not only in day-to-day life or medicine, but also in the decorative field. Let's talk about Edelweiss flower, because it's pink and red, therefore it was ground and used as rouge. In terms of clothing, we can't just describe every outfit by region or by era. One can only guess all the luxurious attires of noble Turkic ladies in the Golden Herd. Although there are real historical descriptions, for example, notes from Arabic diplomats who visited the horde under the rule of Uzbek Khan. Also, archaeological artifacts, museum exhibits, and other valuable information from Turkic folklore make the picture complete.
Казахские женщины не менее
Kazakh women like to flaunt no less than European ones, you know? They had makeup, they used powder,
красились, они
they made powder out of rice, ground rice, you know?
риса.
Well, I think they also had henna. Painted their nails with it. Well, they made rouge from their herbs and so on.
Ею они из трав они делали
And the way they decorated themselves, well, I think it belongs to the Guinness Book of Records.
украшали себя. Ну, я думаю, что
The
можно...
Kazakhs generally love, to flaunt.
Казахи вообще любили...
When they went to matchmaking ceremony, they wrapped horses in gold down to their knees.
Ниже
And the ones that didn't have gold, they used gold fabric.
золотом это обматывали. Понимаете, да? А у кого не было золота, значит, это вот золотистым этим тканью.
Clothes made of expensive silk and brocade and emerald and sable furs, diamonds and pearls, massive gold jewelry, peacock feathers were signs of the aristocratic attire of noble Kazakh women of that time. We know that in pre-colonial times, the girls of the Kazakh nobles, especially the nobles, were up to 20 kilograms of gold jewelry, earrings, bracelets, rings, necklaces, pendants, and so on.
I'm more and more amazed by the attitude towards women in Central Asia. Judging from what I've learned, women have always been treated with honor and respect and have had their freedoms in nomadic societies.
Казахские женщины, девушки, всегда были свободны. Девушки играли на домбре.
Kazakh women and girls have always been free, I mean, they could dance, they could sing, they could even wrestle. They could wrestle with men. Girls played the dombra, they played the kobuz, and it was welcomed. Generally, Kazakh valued life as a great beauty. Kazakh were live lovers. When travelers from other countries came, Kazakh women didn't hide, They talked, they asked questions, showed their jewelry, they even bragged. The Arab geographer Al-Idrisi wrote about the Kipchaks. Their women are beautiful, they're tougher than men and more enterprising in obtaining all they need because of the energetic and proud nature.
Если мы будем говорить о нашей цивилизации, конно-кочевой цивилизации,
if we talk about our civilization, nomadic civilization, of course, there's another kind of differentiation. In our country, a girl should, in the same measure, combine grace, sophistication, and a silver tongue, education, a good upbringing, and at the same time remain a faithful companion and partner to her chosen one. First, women and girls needed to be able to ride horses confidently. That's why stocky girls in our culture were also considered beautiful. Scientists have long proved that the external signs of female beauty are of direct importance to the survival of the species. Shiny hair, white, even teeth, and clean skin are signs of a healthy body. Strong legs help you get away from predators and enemies. Beautiful breasts and a wide pelvis will make giving birth and feeding offspring easy. But beyond physical health, the psychological condition, which we call the soul, has always been valued. We don't have that aspect of the body. In other words, the kind of legs she has, the kind of pelvis she has in the epic poems. That is, a thin waist is certainly always beautiful. But the inner world is most emphasized. That's what you can draw from our intangible heritage. Read fairy tales or read epics. All girlfriends are described by their talents and that inner fire. Either she has it or she doesn't. At every age, a great deal of attention was given to a person's inner beauty. External beauty can be specific to women, but in general, with regard to men and women, the greatest attention has been given to inner beauty. A lot of people, when it comes to beauty, mean good looks only. But it's just an outer layer. What's appearance worth if there's nothing but emptiness inside? True beauty is found in the harmony between the inside and the outside, and the fire which burns in the heart and makes the eyes lit and the cheeks blush.
In the 20th century, Coco Chanel once said, "Caring for beauty, one needs to start with the heart and soul. Otherwise, no makeup would help." Now, Kazakh women figured that out centuries ago. I'm Daniel Bessedin, and it was Searching for Mystery. I'll see you next time.